In this episode, we'll be discussing a Central Powers victory in World War I. The Great War, as it was known at the time, was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Millions of soldiers and civilians lost their lives, and the world was forever changed. But what if the outcome of the war had been different? In our alternate history, the Central Powers emerge victorious. This means that Germany, Austria-Hungary, and their allies have successfully defeated the Allied powers, including France, Great Britain, and the United States. The Treaty of Versailles, which was signed in 1919, was intended to punish Germany for its role in starting the war. But in our alternate history, there is no Treaty of Versailles. Instead, the Central Powers are able to negotiate a peace settlement on their own terms. For Germany and Austria-Hungary, a Central Powers victory means that they are able to maintain their pre-war borders and expand their empires. They are also able to establish themselves as dominant powers in Europe. For the Allied powers, the outcome is disastrous. The leaders of France, Great Britain, and the United States are heavily criticized for their handling of the war. The public demands answers, and some even call for their leaders to resign. Without the Treaty of Versailles, there is no League of Nations. This means that there is no international organization to promote peace and prevent future conflicts. Instead, the world is left to fend for itself. As a result, World War II breaks out much earlier than it did in our timeline. This time, the conflict is even more devastating. Germany, emboldened by its victory in the First World War, launches a massive invasion of Europe. The United States is hesitant to get involved, but eventually, it too is dragged into the conflict. The aftermath of the Second World War is even more chaotic than it was in our timeline. The world is divided into two spheres of influence: the Axis powers, led by Germany, and the Allied powers, led by the United States. The Cold War, which lasted for decades in our timeline, is even longer and more intense in this alternate history. The world is on the brink of nuclear annihilation. And it seems as though there is no end in sight. So what does this alternate history mean for us today? Well, it's hard to say. But one thing is clear: the outcome of the Great War had a profound impact on the world we live in today. And if things had gone differently, who knows what the world would look like now?